like, uh, uh, just so y'all know we're new to all this. Welcome everybody out there in Facebook land where this is the LiveAg podcast. This is our first of many, hopefully. Introduce myself. I'm Ty DeCordova. This is Casey Mabry with Blue Reef Marketing. And we'd just like to welcome y'all here today. This is our premiere sale. This is our first sale of 2025, and we're so excited for everybody to join us today. And we just wanted to kick off this podcast and talk about what we do, where we've been, where we come from. We got a few industry partners that'll join us with the VitaFerm and IMI, and the crew just walked in, so they're making me laugh back there. But this is going to be kind of just informal, and we just glad you all welcome to join us. And I'm going to introduce Casey, and he's going to tell a little bit about himself, where he's from, kind of what they do, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, the best part about this deal, Ty, is we've got plenty of friends that we probably give a hard time to. So whenever we put ourselves publicly out there, they can hammer back pretty aggressively.
It's going to happen.
So whether you're out there in Facebook land or you're standing on the other side of this room watching us, you guys have plenty of fun with this here for the next 30 minutes or so. Casey Mabry, so Blue Reef Agri Marketing. Ty and I have known each other here for a while, and we've thought that this would be a pretty good idea to do something like this and really to kind of bring things together as far as different industry partners, like Ty said. So my background, I work for Blue Reef Agri Marketing now. I'm a partner with that group. I grew up in Weatherford, Texas. We grew up, in agriculture really through FFA and 4-H programs, showing livestock and things like that. Got pretty excited about meat judging for some odd reason. It's probably because I'm not very athletic. And so that thing kind of brought me through the different parts of the industry. And I've had just a tremendous amount of mentors through the way that have kind of got me to the place where I'm at now. So Texas Tech is where I went to school, graduate school at Tarleton, and then went to work as a cattle buyer for Cargill in about 2005. And so I spent about 12 years or so working with Cargill in different capacities. So buying fed cattle in western Nebraska is where I spent about 5 or 6 years. Moved to Wichita, Kansas, spent about 5 or 6 years there in the corporate office in different capacities in cattle procurement, beef pricing. And so those guys gave me a tremendous opportunity to learn a bunch, learn a lot about this industry, and really somebody that didn't necessarily grow up in it, to really be a sponge and learn from that. Like I said, there's people I bought cattle from that taught me a lot. There's guys across the way that taught me a bunch. So I was real passionate about the markets. I really liked that at Cargill, and so I joined a group called Blue Reef in about 2017 is when I left Cargill and joined on there. And really the preface of what we wanted to do was be educators, market advisors, and teach people about cattle risk, exposure, markets, and things like that. So we have lots of in-depth conversations. Fast forward to where we are now. We've got a team of about 9 or 10 people that work directly on the livestock side of things. We've got an office in Nebraska that Zach Sybil and Justin Slaybaugh sit in. We got Wade Perks down in San Angelo, Texas, Scott Dreyer and myself, and Dawson Dietrich, Maddie Saunders, and Stephanie Moore. We sit there in Weatherford, Texas. And so we've built a team of people that have the ability to sit down and listen and learn and understand people's exposure, take things that are real complex about the market and try to make them real simple, put that stuff together. So we have lots of funny conversations, lots of tough conversations, depending on where the market direction is at that time. So I'm pretty excited to be able to do this with you, Ty. I think it'll be cool for the next couple of years if we can last that long to do this deal.
Yeah, if they don't run us out of the country first. But no, we kind of got a lot of the similar backgrounds. I grew up in the industry. My family's been in the cattle business forever. My grandpa, my great-grandfather owned the first sale barn there in Groesbeck where we live. And, it's just been a family passion of ours, this industry has. I grew up in the Superior Livestock family and spent many, many years there, and that family was awesome to us. And like you said earlier, you learn so much from the people that you surround yourself with. And I was so fortunate to have a father that surrounded me with great industry people that were some of the most brilliant, with Jim Odell and Buddy Jeffers at first, and then Bill Martin, a family friend that's here today, and then you transfer on over to Richard Stober, and then the guys there, and then you transfer on over to the guys that are there now, Danny Jones and Joe Lichty, and the whole family of guys that you just lean on and learn off of. Lynn Cope, just the vast knowledge that you get from these people that, like you say, that you've surrounded yourself with, and you've sponged off of all these years, and you can't never forget that and where you come from, and where they brought you. And my dad was, man, he was an awesome man that put me in the right position. He didn't force feed it to us. He put us there, and he demanded us to learn it. If you didn't learn it, that's your own fault. So me and my brother and my sister were very fortunate to have him as father. My brother operates Buffalo Livestock. We bought that as a family back in 2006, and now he's the sole manager and owner of it, him and my mom. Got a big horse operation that they do there, and my brother's really, really active in the industry too. So it's a big family business, and that's what went us around this deal by, and we've had the opportunity to step out on our own now and do this with some great partners that have come along and sought after me and Jason Barber, one of my partners here, the CEO of LiveAg, and we've had 3 companies come after us to form this great vision that they thought of, not reinventing the wheel, but just starting something new. And we got an equipment side to it also. It's not just livestock, and it's just so great to be able to visit with these industry partners and like you guys, and because we'll lean on you a lot on all of our wheat stuff, and we visited about that a lot. We got a lot of wheat cattle turned out, and it's fun to see all this come full circle. So our backgrounds are quite similar. Our kids show a lot, might be showing different livestock, but we give each other a lot of crap about some of that stuff. So, but not to delay it on, I'm going to introduce our first guest. Is Alan Lee with Biozyme. He has been there quite a while. I don't know how long Alan was there, but he has been very instrumental in the nutrition programs and value-added programs in the industry. We come together, I don't know, 10 years ago.
Several.
Alan, it's been a long time with you and with the crew at VitaFerm, and started some nutrition stuff, and just kind of want to continue that on and kind of throw it at you and let you tell your background here and where you live and where you're from, and kind of a little bit about Biozyme, and we'll kind of go into some of that. And
yeah, certainly. Thanks for having us here. We're excited. As you said, we've I don't know where it dates back to, but several years we've been giving each other a hard time. So I'm from Southwest Arkansas.
We won't hold that against you.
Well,
Your accent didn't stick out there.
It did.
Yeah,
didn't
we
give it
didn't,
away.
we didn't know. Yeah, we couldn't tell.
Sometimes I say I'm from L.A.
Okay.
They look at me like I'm crazy, and I say, well, it's Lower Arkansas. But anyways, no, this time of the year is really exciting for us as a family. My wife, Christy, she's over at the stockyards right now. Our kids, they're showing multiple species over there this week.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a fun week for us, and we're just excited that we could be here to do this and join you guys for this event. So
talking about the show and stuff, I got up, I don't know, it was 4:45 or 5. They made us park our truck like 10 blocks away from the hotel, and the wife and girls got up and like, you got to walk and get the truck so we can leave. So they left the hotel about 5 and went and watched steers and in the ice cold weather, and I was calling them and asking them if they were cold and stuff. So it was pretty neat.
While you're sitting here in the
warm
heat,
and nice here. So.
Yeah, they're probably mad at you at the moment, but they'll appreciate it about 10 or 15
yeah,
years.
they'll
from now.
love it. Yeah. And I almost forgot. My oldest daughter turned 16 today.
Oh wow!
So we're gonna have it's a big day. It's the first LiveAg auction, and my oldest daughter turned 16. Boy, it's gonna be a day we won't forget. I promise. She's driving around in Denver right now, and I'm like, I was asked Jen earlier. I said, "Have you lost your mind? I mean, how are you gonna turn her loose with this 3/4 ton pickup and running red lights?" But she's learning.
So really, my oldest one's 14, and it freaks me out to think about her driving. We let her drive around the yard and things like that, but I'm scared she's gonna run over something.
Yeah.
I think I had to FaceTime Ty once when my daughter kind of had to run in with the house learning to drive. But anyways, we're going to pass that. I think the 16th birthday things, he's inviting us all to steak dinner tonight. What he's doing.
Ocean Prime or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Well,
I'll sing happy birthday.
We better talk to Jason, see if we can get the company card or something.
There you go. Back to Biozyme, Ty. I've been there 13 years. I'm vice president of domestic business. We have a great team, great set of products, which you know firsthand. You guys use a lot of them, and as far as the partnership and helping educate the industry, I mean that's what we do just alongside y'all, and we're just excited to be part of it here. So,
I seen a deal the other day on the American Rancher about your 4/6 partnership. That's pretty cool. That tub ought to be pretty neat. I've been needing to do that for a while, I think. So
yeah. That most recent American Rancher was phenomenal. I don't know all the marketing terms. I could get some help here, but how many views we had and all that's been great. We did launch a new product in conjunction with those guys there in Guthrie, and they've been long-term customers of ours at Biozyme that dates way back. And with some of the vision and transition with Taylor Sheridan and what they're doing moving forward, we just felt like it was the right time to kind of bring some stuff to the public that we've been doing there for those guys, and it's really exciting, and they're leaving about as fast as we can get them made. So
that's good.
It's been really good.
One thing about that American Rancher, it gets some eyeballs, and
oh boy,
I mean that is a heck of a program to promote anything you guys got. I mean, anybody in the industry, if you got something that you want to get out there, you need to get a hold of them guys, whether it's Joe Lichty or one of them guys over there to do that American Rancher deal. That thing's phenomenal. The eyes that hit that thing is crazy. So.
I hope they take care of Roger. He's pretty good
he
getting those together.
Roger,
that's for sure.
Hey, that thing, he got awards all on his wall. Have you ever been in his office?
I have,
it's everywhere. I mean, he is very, very good at what he does.
He sticks to an agenda a little bit better than I do, but
yeah, no. But no, I mean, we go back a long time, like I said. I mean, in the show, all three of our families are in the show family. I mean, grew up in 4-H and FFA, and that's kind of how we vision building this whole dream was the family and the family values and to keep everybody in that vision of raising your kids in this industry. I mean, we're losing more and more every year, and we need to kind of get back to where we're raising more and more. Yeah, it's hard work, but these kids will get up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock, go out to the barn, feed their animals, and get them ready, then go to school, and then come back the night. And it's just an awesome way to raise your kids. And I can't. Everybody talks about how you can do that and how much it costs and all that. Well, it's priceless when you're raising a kid that has that worth ethic that can outwork anybody the next 20 years. I mean, that's what we're doing.
Yeah, it's interesting. My daughter and so our kids show hogs, and I know that's a little bit different than what the cattle deal is, and I can't play with the big boys, I guess, but my kids will feed about 20 pigs in the barn every year. And our daughters, sometimes, I mean, everybody gets in arguments in the barn, but probably one of the best things that's happened to me was 2 days ago, and we're in the wash rack, and they're running pigs out, and they're trying to take care of pens and all that stuff. And my daughters are getting to where they're starting to understand things a little bit more. My older two are 12 and 14, and the little one's 7. And that older one, she said, Dad, and I mean, this is after, a couple weeks ago where she would have probably been like, why do we have so many of these things? She said, I was asking my friends what they do when they get out of school every day. And they said, I don't know. I just go get in my bedroom and get on my iPad or my phone or get on Instagram or whatever. Yeah. And our kids spend a couple hours. And so what's crazy is watching those kids develop and find a passion for it. And because my biggest thing that I'm trying to do for my kids, obviously what everybody's trying to do, is what do they do after they're 3 years, 4 years from now? I think your daughter's 16. She'll be out in a couple of years.
About it, man.
It freaks me out.
Talk about it.
Yeah. I tried to get Christy and the kids to come, and she's pretty dedicated show mom. I said, you're gonna see Ty and
mine aren't here yet. They're I said, they went an hour west or east of here where the steers are stalled and had to do all that. They'll be here hopefully around noon or so, but. Yeah, it's a family deal. I mean, and we love to.
Don't let him give you too hard time. We're in the goat and sheep barn over
here
this week.
There you go. That's probably the hardest thing in the world.
We showed cattle last week.
That's where the smart guys are, is in the sheep and goats.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
We showed cattle at the city last week, and so this week's kind of the small ruminant week. But
got along pretty good with Charlie Heifer.
Yeah. We have a nice little set of shars there in southwest Arkansas, and had a good week. And that particular heifer you're asking about, she had a good run at Junior Nationals and continued that. So it's been really good. But as you say, it's a small group, and that's why we're doing all this. So
yeah. Well, Alan, we want to thank you for being on here, and thank you and Biozyme for the partnership. I don't know if y'all can see it. We probably won't show it on there, but if you look on our social media and stuff, you'll see we got a big screen. We got the ballpark's big screen, and all kinds of stuff's going up on there, and thank y'all for that.
You bet.
Alan, where do they buy those products from if somebody wanted to go get that 4.6s?
Yeah, hey, thanks for asking. Go to biozyme.com. We've got over 2,000 dealers across the U.S., and certainly the best way to access that or go to our website. We've got a phenomenal sales team spread out across the country, somewhere between 20 and 25 of us, depending on what they do on a daily basis, but great team there at Biozyme. I'm just always excited that I get to lead that team and be involved and get to do what I do. But certainly dealers all across the U.S. Go to biozyme.com, go to VitaFerm.com, numerous ways to find us, and there's a spot where they can go and find a dealer. Or, anybody that's involved in the LiveAg and that network of people. Hey,
Yeah.
Ty's got my cell phone number. Jason's got my cell phone number. Katie, most of the crew, we're all pretty good friends. And, hey, I'll take any calls. I want to help anybody we can. So,
Yeah, you bet.
yep. Well, guys, thanks for having me.
Thank
I'm
you.
going to step off. Yep.
Appreciate
you
it.
bet. Good luck today.
All right.
It's exciting.
Appreciate
Yep.
it, buddy. Next up is a young lady that I've known since I was a kid, and she is Mindy with IMI Global, and our families go way back.
We won't talk about how
like-
way back they go.
Yeah,
That might age us.
It might. It sure might. But our dads were great friends, and it's been, like I said, this still's a family deal. A lot of people don't understand how it's a big industry, but it's not.
Yep.
We all know each other. We all spend time together, and if we don't know you, there's somebody that we know that does know you. That it's such a tight knit deal. But no, we wanted to visit with you about. First of all, we want to thank you. You got Doug with you, and Leanne and John are back over there. They're gonna kind of hide in the corner. I tried to get him on the big screen. He was asking me. He said, "Well, you got a lot of TVs in here." I said, "Yeah, I'm kind of standing around here asking these guys why we got all these TVs." But
It's great.
man, it looks phenomenal. in
It
there.
looks great.
I do want to give a shout out to them guys. We have the core group of guys that we've built this thing around. We got Mike Bainig and Mike Borshaw and Chance Ludwig, and then Landry's in there helping them. But those guys on that side of this deal, man, they're phenomenal. They've got that deal in there looking great. The slides that Mike and Chance have built, and the video graphics, how they're going to show up on RFD TV and how it all rolls over, man, they've done a phenomenal job. And I've been.
They're making you look pretty professional.
They are.
Ty.
They're like. I'm like, guys, you're going to make us like kind of look good. And,
Yeah.
And but no, they've done and we got Katie and Margot in the background here. They're backside of this podcast that that they're on our marketing, and then Margot's over our purebred side, but it all links together. But want to kind of talk about some of y'all's stuff, some of y'all's programs, and how to go about enrolling in some of that stuff, and just kind of take over and tell us what you want us to hear from it. I mean,
Absolutely. We really appreciate the opportunity. We're excited to work with LiveAg and all the reps. And again, to Ty's point, we've been very fortunate and had the ability to work with a lot of the reps and hopefully provide some guidance here and there when needed. But where Food comes from, an IMI Global, this year has been in business for 30 years. We're the leader in third-party verification, which just basically means value-added programs on your livestock. Where Food comes from, we work with ranchers to the shelf. So we handle the entire supply chain, which is very unique in this industry. Everything that we do is about adding value to the bottom line for ag production. And as you both said, I grew up, Leanne grew up in the ag industry our entire lives. And again, I'm not going to say what that lifespan is. But we've had the opportunity to work in it for many, many years, and salt of the earth. I will definitely say that. As far as our programs go, we have numerous programs. What is, I guess, most common in LiveAg and these type of sales is going to be your source and age verification, which is the little button that is the traceability, the disease traceability all the way through. Our next level is non-hormone treated cattle, meaning those animals have never received hormones in their life, ionophores or beta agonists. And then you step up a level, and the top claims under our USDA PVP is verified natural. And again, we offer non-GMO, we offer organic.
Right.
Our sustainability and the program that, one of the programs we're most excited about is our CARE program.
Yeah, well, let's talk a little bit more in depth on the CARE deal. That deal seems like it's catching a hold, and there's more people grabbing a hold of it. And when y'all launched it, I don't remember, was it 5 years ago?
Yes, this year.
5 years ago?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Hey,
you got that.
Hey,
Yes.
I might be looking for a job if y'all need anybody. But 5 years ago when y'all launched that deal, it's taken a little bit of time to take a hold. But it looks like to me that there's more of the industry on that end of the deal that are reaching out and wanting to grab a hold of that thing. So kind of explain that more, and explain how to do it and how to get into it. So.
Absolutely. So CARE is an acronym that stands for Community of Agriculturists Respecting the Earth. We've done a lot of consumer research, and as everybody in this industry knows, the consumers kind of guide where we go ultimately. And one of the most important things to them is sustainability. And we're not just talking environmental sustainability or your ranching, how you manage your herd. It's across the board. So we're talking about environmental stewardship, animal husbandry, and then people and community, making sure you're doing what's best to continue on the legacy and maintain the viability of your local community. The beauty of CARE, it does require the source and age verification, but you don't have to be all natural. You can use hormones. So it gives an outlet to people that have historically said, I want to continue to implant. This is where I'm seeing my value. It allows you the ability to enroll in those programs. So, when you do that, we can look at everything, but if those other programs don't fit, CARE is phenomenal. The growth is significant. We're working with several people that are requiring that on their claims going into those programs. So yes, we've seen a lot of growth. We have over 1 million cattle in the supply chain currently. It's actually over that now, but that was close to our year-end numbers. So we've got a lot of cattle in the supply chain, and we're seeing significant growth in that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I always like when y'all come out with it. I thought, this it'll take a little while, but this thing will take a hold. I mean, it's wanted. It's needed in the industry. So
yeah, absolutely. And as far as process enrollment goes, you can reach out to our main number. You can go on our website. We have regional account managers, and I want to speak to that a little bit, because we, as I was talking about our history in ag, that is one thing that IMI and Where Food Comes From really focuses on. Anybody that we hire or works with us has to have practical agriculture knowledge. So from our founders to the boots on the ground independent contractors, they understand the ag industry as well as anybody.
It makes a lot of difference when they come out there to do an audit, if they've been in the business, if they know what we do. I mean, if they can ask the right questions and they know what they're talking about, it makes a big difference. I mean, there's a lady that I always lean on, and Cindy Easterly. She's one of y'all's. Oh, she is phenomenal. I mean, she's down in our area.
I know Cindy.
Oh, she's great now. And when you get that relationship with those type of people that work for you, and
absolutely,
and they run cows. I mean, they have a big cow operation. I mean, so she knows the whole deal, and it makes a difference.
Makes a huge difference.
I think that's why you guys have been the leader. I mean, my days at Cargill, like I was mentioning to you earlier. I mean, there's a couple of them that pop into mind, but I mean, if you guys are, it's you're the one that's going to pop up first. And I think that's probably your biggest driver is the background of everybody's got there, because it means so much. But
absolutely. Outside of that, Doug and I are always available. Ty, Jason, Blake, everybody has our phone numbers. So if there's a customer that's involved and you don't want to go through the website, you don't want to call the main number, they can absolutely provide Doug and I's direct number, and we'll get you started. We've got regional account managers that handle different regions based on their location. So we'll definitely get them taken care of.
Let's touch on, there is and I went blank, and I normally don't do that. Just kidding. The beef dairy cross side, the dairy side. What is that called?
Beef on dairy?
Yeah, but what is don't you have another, I know it's IMI, but then is it Sterling Solutions?
Yes.
Am I making that up?
Yes, Sterling Solutions was an original company that was acquired by IMI and has somewhat maintained the Sterling Solutions name, and they deal with calf ranches and dairies. And the beef on dairy.
I thought that was right, and it is not too different entities. It's just that's the side, that's the beef on dairy side, and then the beef side, the native side is IMI. It's all one family, but it's handled two different ways. So,
yes,
and a lot of that stuff, and the reason I do know this because I got crossed up one day and we was trying to sell some of them, and I called you. I think I said, hey, I need to get this dairy enrolled in NHTC and beef care and everything. And when she goes down the list, she said, and we had been selling them for a month, like a lot of them, not just a little bit. I mean, we'd sold 15 or 20,000 of them, and I'm like, we pushing this deal to them, and we want to get them in the Asian source and the NHTC and the beef care deal. And she said, well, Todd, they're already enrolled. And I'm like, Do what? She said, yeah, they're already part of the deal. I'm like, well, that's great. Good deal. Awesome.
Yeah, I knew that. Thank you.
Great job, Ty. I mean, yeah. So, but no, we've and that's the Tulsa deal, the Lone Star Calf Ranch that Jake Tulsa and them, and man, they've been awesome for us. Drew Perez manages that deal for Jake, and I want to shout out to Jake and Drew and tell them thank you for that deal. And they've been a big customer of y'all's too.
Very important customer.
They're handling a lot of these beef dairy crosses. And
So, Ty, is there extra value? I mean, that's one I wanted to touch on just for about 2 or 3 minutes here, if we could. Let's say I'm putting myself in a couple different places. I'm a rancher and I've got 200 cows. Okay, let's just throw that out there, and we're going to scenario plan a little bit. I don't do anything with my cattle because time goes by or whatever. Like, what value? Like, what should I do if I've got 200 cows? Is there a place that I can go? Understand that? Who do I reach out to? Is it one of your reps? Is it you to go, all right, look, I want a value add as this industry, evolves or whatever. Obviously, prices are crazy high right now. People probably are less concerned about that. But as margin compresses and things like that through the cycle, what do we do? I mean, what does somebody do?
The best part about that is if they've done, IMI and some other industry leaders have done a very good job at educating the reps on how to sell it and what to sell and what fits. It don't all fit everybody. I mean, this will fit this guy's cow herd. This will fit this guy's. It's just knowing what'll benefit them, what'll make their cattle bring the most. But it's not a one size fit all. But that goes back to education, and that's we talked about this before going on here, and that's why we want to do 1 or 2 of these a month is for that reason right there, to get our industry partners on here and educate our reps and educate the public, the industry, on how to go about doing it and what to use, what works for your program. Don't just sit there and, they would love to sign up for all of them, but they don't want you to do that because, okay, that's not going to benefit you.
Yeah, so some guys can't do natural.
They're not going to. They're not going to tell you to do that when it's not going to benefit your program, and you can't do it. So they're going to push you to what maximizes your profitability in your program, and that's what our reps are trained to do too. Is okay, what can we do to help you? So we go into some spots and we might change tell them that this is what we do, and they'll change everything they're doing. Or we might go in other spots and they're wanting more information. We're like, dude, you're good. You're doing all you can. Let's just do what you're doing. That don't fit you. You can't do that. So, and that's just the education of the reps and our industry partners, and Doug and Mindy do a great job of putting on programs and putting on seminars. And as we go through the year, they'll be at some of our events and putting on those things for our reps and training our reps to know what to do and how to do it and what fits who. So. Yeah,
and that's one of the things I think a lot about, and I really go through scenarios with a lot of the guys that I work with, particularly whether it's the calf ranches or cow-calf operators. We don't try to just really dig into the markets. I mean, that's obviously a big part of it, but it's also trying to squeeze just a little bit more out of the lemon, I guess, if you will. Mm-hmm. And so I know that there's some people that want to take cattle to sale barns, and then they look at you maybe as synonymous with a sale barn, but actually it's creating bigger plans than that. It's like, when do you want to sell the cattle? How do you want to sell the cattle? What programs do you want to sell the cattle on? And a lot of times, when we threw that through a transactional, we lose sight of that. Yeah. But having the ability to put it on the platform and say, hey, these are CARE or these are NHTC or whatever it is. But a lot of times, in daily life, when we're talking about, raising kids and stuff, people get so busy with whatever they're doing. So is the best thing to do is just reach out to one of your team members and go, hey, come out here, do a full assessment of what we got. Can you tell me what's the best route for me?
Absolutely. Okay. And the one thing we really want producers to know is it's not an overwhelming process. And lots of times, we used to call it on-site audits. That's a negative.
People don't like the word audit.
No, whether we're
the
financial.
audit, they're like,
audit.
You want to do an on-site what?
Yeah. So we've worked really hard to change that to verifier because we're not coming in there to nail the consumers. Right. We're coming in there to help them. It's not an overwhelming process. We'll handhold step by step by step. So, people tend to get overwhelmed when looking at this type of thing, and that's what we're for. We'll walk you through every single program. We'll handle all the steps. We've got breed verified partners, and so if you've got Charolais herd, Red Angus, Black Angus, we have the ability to work with those breed partners to bring that marketability.
Yeah, so if I'm sitting there with a couple hundred cows, to anybody, and I would recommend this, try to figure out a way to get more money outside of just waiting on the market to give it to you, right? Pick your price. Don't let it be your price. And so reach out to you guys because, I'm telling you, There's lots of different things out there, and obviously there's enough demand for it, so there's value in those different programs. Some people can't fit them all, but there's good things out there for it, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you guys both. I really
bet.
appreciate it.
We
and
can't
as
thank
always,
you enough.
We'll
You
see
bet.
you.
Yes,
we'll see
ma'am.
you a
Yes,
lot.
ma'am. We will.
Thank you guys.
So,
Well-
Ty, you want to talk a little bit about what you guys have up for on the market or on the sale today, and I can probably run through some market stuff if you want to. I mean,
Yeah, let's. We'll touch on the auction today. We have an awesome lineup. We're just going to start with some wean calves out in Oregon, some 4-weight program calves that are pretty hot market right now, pretty hot commodities. So then we'll kind of move our way back east and south and go across the United States all the way back to Florida. Then we'll take our way back and go back west on some feeder cattle and end up with some Holsteins and some beef dairy crosses. But man, I'm real proud of the core team that have come aboard, that have chosen to partner with us and become reps. Man, it's just they've done an awesome job going out there and hustling to get some cattle for this thing. Some good cattle. Like, we have some quality. The quality is deep today. So if you're needing some good wean ones, light ones, we got them. If you're needing some good feeders, we got them. We got most of our partners in here. So if you got any questions, just call us. We can answer that. And I guess we'll just kind of go back to the markets and kind of see what you think on some of that. And
yeah, no, it's an interesting time in the market today. I'll tell you, I mean, as we sit here in the middle of January, we got the markets that are crazy on fire, and they've been so here for a little while. We got guys that need winter grazing cattle still. I mean, obviously with the border down south, that's probably thrown some fireworks there, trying to find some of them lightweight cattle to kick still out on wheat.
Well, the wheat, this might be the best year in 20 years for the wheat in our area, in the panhandle of Texas and right up through
It was starting
Benjamin.
off pretty bad, though, wasn't it?
It was looking rough, but now there's guys calling every day. You got 1,500. I got room for 2,000. And you normally don't see that in years. You normally have to fight over it.
Yeah.
You normally have to fight for the wheat. But this year it's there and it's good. And I think that goes back to the open wheat that's out there. I think that goes back to our numbers too, though, Casey. I think this number deal's showing its head. I think the inventory's showing its head now. And as we go forth the next year or so, I think it'll rear its head even more. So.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard one to really kind of figure out, honestly. And I mean, it's obviously what I focus on every day and trying to do that. When I don't try to predict the numbers, I use some analysts out there to help us to understand that. But I think really one thing that's probably thrown a kink in things is we depend on. I mean, I'm going to say 1.5 million Mexican cattle come across the border every year, and I know it slows down going into the holiday time period. But we really, I mean, guys, we depend on that to go to wheat. I mean, there's a lot of cattle that go to wheat, particularly in Texas in that area, and those guys that have leaned on that for a long time have had kind of search otherwhere. So I see those cattle probably coming across at some points.
I was talking to a guy this morning, and he was that was one of our subjects. He said, we're waiting on our Mexicans, and they're thinking 2 weeks, I think, and it sounds like it's going to be real. I'm like, so you're going to turn them out, or you're going to put them in feed yard? What are they going to look like? They're not going to be the ones you're supposed to get 3 weeks ago or a month ago. They're going to be a different product now too.
Yeah, it's wild to think through all the different dynamics. But you know what? That's why the cattle market exists, and that's why we all, I guess, have a place in this thing. But I would tell you the cattle market today, as we ended yesterday, we were pretty much into record prices as far as the futures go. April had not taken out what last year's high was at 99.75 or so. The market's a little bit softer this morning, but that's just kind of normal volatility anymore. It's crazy now. I'll get phone calls and the market will be down $2 or up $2, and everybody wants to go, well, what's going on? I'm like, that is not a big move anymore.
Normal.
Yeah, it's like normal. I'm like, okay.
Wait till it has a 7 or 8.
Yeah. I mean, the limits now are so wild. We used to be a 300-point limit. Now that's almost when the market gets here. But if you go back, I mean, there's been lots of dynamics that have changed this thing. And you got to remember, we have two different markets. We got a futures market, and the futures market's got different players in it than what the cash market does. Yeah. And both of those can kind of separate themselves from each other. From a cash market perspective, we saw the best cash prices that we've seen across the country last week. We saw 202 in the south. We see 202 again this week. We're kind of trading at 204.5 in the north now, seeing some activity there this week. So I know that if you talk to people that are in the market looking for fed cattle, they feel like the cattle are almost right there. I mean, we've obviously had a tremendous amount of incentive to feed cattle to bigger weights.
Yep.
Corn and grain are cheap. We got big prices on cattle. The cost every day to produce a pound of gain is way lower than what the cattle are. So the interesting dynamics are going to be what happens whenever we get there. So did we fill those pounds up? What's the numbers there? So not lighter numbers, bigger weights, and I feel good about it. We think about last year, and I think that's what's setting up this year. Last year, we had a cattle on feed report that happened in October, and it wrecked the market, if you remember back that time.
Oh, yeah.
It was a really crazy time period, and we said that we had just as many cattle then as we do now. Market wrecked. Cattle went from 197 down to 165, and everybody threw in the towel, acted like it was over with. We started to bounce prices back this summer. We took it down a little bit lower. And then, even 60 days ago, Ty, everybody was thinking the fed cattle market and even feeder cattle got down to 225 on the board. They were thinking it was going to be over again. And this thing's got so much resiliency. What's driven that, like you said, the numbers in the cash market have really driven it, in my opinion. And then one of the other things that's really driven it is the funds. There's lots of people outside of our market that don't touch the physical product, don't touch the cattle.
Yeah.
They're not cowboys, if you will, but there's a lot of incentive and want to own cattle. So if you go look at it and look at the data, the funds are record large now, both feeder cattle and live cattle. That's very, very good. We depend on the funds to buy the futures market to push it higher. The only problem with that is whenever you see the market creep higher, that's the funds buying it. And when you see it drop drastically, that's the funds exiting. But again, the cash market's probably going to keep this thing lifted up here for a minute. And you know what? All the pain that we had to go through 4 years ago is all the gain that we're getting today. So again, if you were able to be resilient and stay in this thing, it's been rewarding to you over the last couple years.
Just talking about how that market's on fire. I was talking to a really, really good friend of mine, Charlie Cummings, on the way up here the other day, and I asked him, I said, do you ever think you would sell a $5.50 4-weight or 3-weight, whatever they weighed? He was like, I said, you win $150 a 100. I mean, normally, you'll run $10 a 100. He went $150 a 100 from where he started them. And I was like, did you ever think that? He's like, no, we was kind of thinking in the upper fours, and I'm like, wow. These are just record prices that we're all seeing. And this market's good. It's good everywhere. So
yeah, I think it's weird to watch the market for the last, I've been in it for 15 years or so, which isn't a crazy amount, but the cattle market runs in 10-year cycles or 8 to 10-year cycles like we've always talked about. So most guys in a normal lifespan gets to see about 3 or 4 of them. They miss the first 2 and then maybe catch the third one, and then they get greedy on the 4th one again, but
and they're right back to the first
yeah,
one.
Yeah, it's like, what's going on here? So, man, it's and our job, I guess your job and my job both, is to keep everybody kind of grounded and remind them of those things. Like, think about it, like 3 years ago, even 2 years ago, when we were so dry in Texas, everybody's like wanting out of this business, and they're dispersing. And then now they were selling their cows for $800-900 a piece, and now those cows are worth $3,000
all day.
They're worth $3,000 to kill them. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So what we got to do is keep ourselves in check emotionally and make sure that we're preserving that equity, maximizing all the value you can from a production standpoint. That Alan can help them with, or Mindy, and trying to figure out all the values and stuff.
Well, it's been great, man. I'm excited about going forward with this deal, and once or twice a month, just having one of these deals and get some special guests on, and me and you just being able to sit down and visit and shoot the bull. It's catch up and talk about the kiddos and talk about the industry and the markets, and this thing I think's got some legs to it, and I'm excited about it.
You bet, man.
So I'm excited about all this. So I want to thank everybody for showing up today. I want to thank everybody out in Facebook land for watching. We'll keep doing these on, and they will spread this out all over social media. I think that's what they're telling me on the website, and where you can go back and watch it. So
if you got any questions, call Ty.
RKC. So, well, thank everybody, and we'll see you next time.